Hello everyone. Alright, today we're going to talk about our rules for transformations. Now this video is not about what the rules are and why they're that way, but this video is about once you know what the rules are, how do we use them. So I've got the rules listed up there, your rules for reflection and your rules for rotations. If you don't know those, you need to memorize them to be able to do these problems, but this video is all about once you know what the rule is, can you apply it? How do you apply that rule? So let's get started with that. When you're trying to decide what to do when you have a rule, there's two questions that you need to ask yourself. And those two questions are, does the order change and do any of the signs change? And the way that you tell for question number one, does the order change, is you look to see if the y is first in your rule. So if y is first in your rule, then you're going to be changing the order of the numbers in your ordered pair. So for example, this one we would change the order. This one we would change the order, again because y is first. Same thing over here, y is first here, so we would change the order. Y is first for 90 degrees counterclockwise, so we would change the order. The second question, do we change any signs, has to do with these negatives in here. And these negatives really mean the opposite of. So we're not making the number negative, we're making it the opposite of what it already is. So again, if we look at this example, we change the order because y is first. Both of these have a negative in front, so that means that we'll change the sign for both of those numbers. So we would want the opposite of whatever this originally was and the opposite of whatever this number originally was. All right, so let's get started with that. Let's look at some examples. So for our first example here, our mapping is xy maps to negative x comma negative y. So again, I ask myself the question, does the order change? I look at the order, x is first, so no, the order does not change. Do any signs change? I look for negative. So both of these have a little negative, so that means both signs change. So when I make a prime here, I'm going to keep the order the same, but I'm going to change both signs. So this would become positive 5, and of course you don't have to leave that positive. You could erase that and make it just a 5. And negative 4 would be in the front. So negative 4, positive 5. B prime, order stays the same. Both signs change, so that becomes positive 9 and negative 6. And again, you could erase that plus and make it just a 9. C prime, order stays the same. And then we change both signs. So positive 10, positive 4 would be C prime. And then D prime, order stays the same. And then change both signs. So negative 6, negative 7 would be our answer for that. Okay, let's look at another example. All right, for our next example, we have xy maps to y comma negative x. So I ask myself the two questions again, does the order change? And the answer is yes, y is first, so the order is going to change. And then do I change any signs? And the answer for that is again yes, because this is a negative x. So for E prime, the order changes. And then the only sign that gets changed is the number in the back. So that's going to become a negative 4. Now I like to think of this in two separate steps because that way you don't get confused about what the sign was originally and what you have to make it. Just change the order first if you need to, and then change your signs. All right. So again, we change the order. And then this time the sign again still that changes is that second number. So that's going to become a positive 6. Again, you could just make that 7, 6 and leave off that positive sign there. G prime, we change the order and then change the sign of the second number. So negative 9, positive 8. And then H prime, change the order, change the sign of the second number. So that becomes negative 3, negative 2. Okay, let's look at another couple of examples and then I'll give you some for you to try. So for this mapping, we have xy maps to negative y, negative x. So I ask myself my two questions. Does the order change? Yes, because y is first. And then do I change any signs? And again, the answer is yes, because both of these have a negative sign. So I'm going to change both signs. So for I prime, we change the order, and then change both signs. So it becomes positive 4, positive 2. J prime, I'm going to change the order, and then I change both signs. So negative 6, positive 5. For K prime, change the order, and then again we go and change both signs. So negative 8, positive 7 would be K prime, and then L prime, we change the order, change the sign of both, and that becomes negative 7, negative 9. All right, so that's some examples. Now I'm going to give you some of these problems to try on your own. So once you see what the problems are, pause the video and take a second and try them, and then start the video back so you can check your answers. All right, so for our first set, go ahead and pause the video. All right, let's check what you did. So for this one, do we change the order? Yes, y is first. Do we change any signs? Yes, we change the sign of the first number. So for A prime, you should have gotten positive 2, positive 4. For B prime, you should have gotten negative 7, positive 5. For C prime, you should have gotten negative 8, negative 9. And D prime, you should have gotten positive 6, negative 3. All right, hopefully you got those right. Let's try another set. All right, so here are your problems. Your mapping is a negative xy. Take a second to write those down, and then pause the video. All right, let's take a look. Should we change the order? No, this time the order stays the same because there's the x's first. Do we change any signs? Yes, we change the sign of the first number. So for E prime, we should have changed that to positive 4, negative 6. F prime would be negative 7, negative 8. G prime would be positive 9, positive 11. And then H prime would be negative 5, positive 3. All right, hopefully you got those correct. Let's look at one more set. All right, this time our mapping is XY maps to YX. So take a second to write those down and pause the video. All right, let's check your answer. So for this one, do I change the order? Yes, the Y is first. Do I change any signs? No, there are no negatives. So we keep the signs as they are. So J prime would be 5, negative 6. K prime would be negative 4, negative 3. L prime would be negative 7, positive 8. And M prime would be positive 6, positive 10. All right, now I have one more example. If you need a little bit more practice, stick around for this one. Take a second to write your problem down and pause the video, and then come back to check your answers. All right, so let's check your answers. For this one, do we change the order? No, the X is first. Do I change any signs? Yes, I'm going to change the sign of the second number. So your N prime answer should be negative 10, negative 8. P prime should be negative 7, positive 6. Excuse me. Q prime should be positive 5, negative 2. And R prime should be positive 4, positive 9. All right, hopefully this video helps you figure out how to apply those rules. So good luck. Study your rules. Memorize them. Bye.